Hi guys, it's SkintBoot here, and today what I'm going to be bringing you guys is a No Man's Sky video. And in today's video, what I am very happy to come back to is the recent No Man's Sky titled update, Visions, and specifically what the update actually adds or changes to the experience of playing No Man's Sky. For this video, I want to go over the official patch notes released by Hello Games, but also give some personal experience and also community experience on some changes that you may not have noticed or you may not yet have experienced. Yes, I know I'm a day late. I can't be a big, strong, manly MZK all the time. I do apologize. But anyway, with all of that said and done, please do sit back and relax. Let's get started. Okay, so the official patch notes will be linked in the description for your convenience. There are a ton of bug fixes and minor changes that are very small in comparison to the bulk of the added content, but please do check out the link for every single fine detail that Visions fixes in No Man's Sky. So, content. The first listed addition on this patch note page are the new anomalous planet biomes. So from my understanding, because I haven't really encountered any of these other than the community planet, anomalous planets are now much more varied and a lot less predictable. You'd often find that before Visions, these planets felt really samey, like really samey. You would have seen everything they had to offer after, say, like the first, I don't know, 5 or 6 planets. To make matters worse, these planets never held any life, or to be honest, anything interesting in the slightest. The wavy flora was cool the first and maybe second and maybe third time you saw it, but after a while they grew extremely tiresome and ultimately felt out of place in a weird sort of unfinished way compared to other planet types. However, Visions fixes this by not only adding a shit ton of variety in terms of flora, generation and colours, but also actual animals. Anomalous planets now house truly alien life that for once resembles close to nothing we've seen on planet Earth. The biggest addition is the weird crystal animal thing underground, and this just doesn't make any sense, and that is the appeal of it. I've also seen some other clips of what look to be like big rectangular stones running around, you know, inanimate objects that are somehow living and breathing. So not only do we now get more of a reason to actually stay on anomalous planets and catalogue some more animals, but we also have some truly weird and out of this world creatures that, to be honest, are beyond our human conception of life. I can't help but feel like this whole update really lines up with my massive rant on No Man's Sky losing its alien feel. Up next is a feature titled Lush Diversity, which has basically made the planets of No Man's Sky more vibrant and science fiction-esque. We now have new shades of sky and grass instead of the same blue skies, green grass feeling that we all got used to from Next, and I am so fucking happy this is now a thing. From what I've played, the skies seem to be the most noticeable and the most kind of reminiscent of older days. If you get the right planet at the right time of day, you can get some truly pre-release or maybe even 1.0 feelings from the color palette and the simplicity of this. This screenshot, for example, shows a yellow sky on I think some kind of toxic planet. I can't quite remember. It could have been an anomalous planet. I don't remember. But this is something which I haven't seen since probably 1.1. These yellow skies look absolutely beautiful, really cartoony and really in line with that original aesthetic No Man's Sky had. It really does help the overhauled science fiction vibe that No Man's Sky is trying to bring back for Visions, and I am so glad Hello Games listened to us in this aspect. Up next is something similar to this, and that is water variation. There isn't much to say about this really, other than the fact that water can now be, say, red or yellow, like seen in this photo. And best of all, this colour applies to the underwater exploration aspect as well, which means exploring the depths will usually always feel unique and less like you're playing some boring ass scuba diver simulator. Moving on, we have yet another aesthetic feature, and that's the improvement of atmospherics and the introduction of rainbows. Again, very self-explanatory. There isn't a lot I can tell you that you probably don't already know. The only addition which I will bring up is that I have noticed that distant planets looks so much better in terms of shading and how it blends with the sky. Especially with the new color palette and the brighter skies with different colors, you do get some absolutely beautiful pre-release crescent worlds, which make for some absolutely stunning screenshots. Okay, so the next two features I will rapid fire because they're fairly basic, but now we have the ability to scavenge fallen satellites out of the ground to get new valuable technology. The catch is that these relics need to be dismantled, or if you're just fucking hard, you can just shoot up the thing and potentially draw the attention of the new corrupted sentinels. These just look tasty, like, oh damn. I'm unsure how these differ from regular sentinels as I haven't yet encountered one. However, I can assume they're likely much more aggressive and more challenging to fight, so watch out for them for sure. The second feature is the ability to uncover ancient bones and sell the remains on for profit. From what I've seen on Game Mode's stream, some of these little artifacts can sell for upwards of 1 million units each, which is pretty fucking good if I do say so myself. This is very similar to how in Next you can now dig up the sites of ancient ruins and find the little crates, you know, put the keys in it, get a randomized item. It's a very good way of earning money, but at the same time you're also exploring the past and it adds a little bit of lore as well. So this is really nice that this has been introduced. Moving on now, we have the introduction of varied hazardous flora. So these plants include a massive orange zit that will explode and potentially kill you if you're not careful, and also a huge Venus flytrap, but instead of eating flies like, you know, normal plants do, they just eat fucking humans. Now I know for sure that these plants are very much welcome to the game because, as we all know, those little whip plants were just cheesy and frankly harmless. These new plants, however, are not only cool to look at, but they genuinely pose a threat to the player. I've seen countless clips on Reddit and other content creator streams of them accidentally walking too close to one by accident and nearly getting game ended there and then. There seems to be a major difficulty curve with these new pieces of hazardous flora, but that is far from a bad thing. In fact, I think it's one of the best smaller additions in this update in terms of core gameplay. Bringing back the rapid fire features once again, we have the ability to now loot big fat crystals off nasty storm planets. Now I did actually get the info on this the wrong way around in my previous Visions video, because I said that when you took the crystal, a storm would appear on the planet. However, it's the other way around. Essentially, if you find a particularly nasty planet with some really disgusting weather, these crystals will spawn on that planet. So these crystals are rare in themselves and can be sold for profit, but they are very tough to get if you're a new player. You will definitely have to have a shit ton of sodium to keep refreshing your good old shields, and of course some oxygen for life support, because your whole systems are just going to get absolutely drained. Once again, danger and challenge is being heavily emphasized in this update. I don't want to feel like I'm just strolling through this alien landscape, you know? I want to be met with challenges and defensive, because remember, we are invaders at the end of the day. So hello games, this was a very important step in the right direction, and I'm very glad it was the direction that was chosen. The second rapid fire feature is something I didn't actually mention in the previous video, and that is the addition of these weird little Dwayne The Rock Johnson creatures. Yeah, really not much to say. They just kind of look like rocks, but when you mine them, they sprout legs, jump out the ground and yeet away from you. Just really strange. However, if you manage to chase these little cunts down and mine them, you can actually extract extra concentrated resources, which adds a nice incentive to follow through with your decision. This is one of those weird kind of quirky features that kind of add to the whole alien feeling that Visions is trying to bring in. I'm again yet to encounter one, but they look pretty adorable from the little GIF on the website, or GIF, or whatever the fuck it is. Just don't get angry. The final major addition is the introduction of procedurally generated crash freighters. So we have had crash freighters since 1.3, however they've always been near enough the same static model, only placed in different locations across these planets to kind of give like an illusion of variation and like you're doing a different one each time. However, Visions gets rid of this cheat completely and actually makes these shipwrecks procedurally generated. So this means that the structure of of these crashed vessels will be random. In theory, every time you find one, it should be a different structure each time, so it doesn't quite feel like you're doing the same repetitive task over and over again. In terms of No Man's Sky's tedious pacing issues, where you always feel like you're just kind of doing what you always do, there isn't really anything to break it up, this is a good solution to that, because before with Crash Freighters, I couldn't give less of a shit. I didn't even look at them, I simply flew past them or walked past them. But hopefully this will draw me back in, and I think a lot of people are going to be excited about this. The last minor additions are fireworks, which can be bought with Quicksilver currency. These are quite cute, but kind of pointless in a weird way. New helmets, which will be unlocked later down the line with the current community mission, and the fact that we now all work towards the same end goal with community missions, and this is tracked with a tier system. Battle Pass. So that's just about all of the major additions that the Visions update has brought to No Man's Sky. The game itself has changed dramatically, yet still feels very similar and still at home, still the game we all very much like. It isn't just a nostalgia update as such. The game's difficulty has been significantly ramped up, and the gameplay itself has been given much greater variety with the added methods of earning money. But at the end of the day, a variety focused update, one that focuses on making exploring more interesting, is I think what the community have wanted this whole time. The fact that we now have plenty of gameplay to keep us occupied, it would make sense for Hello Games to focus on the procedural generation, and hopefully at one point in time we can actually get those crazy ass pre-release trailers which we saw fucking years ago. And one final thing which I do want to say is that I cannot believe this update is out already. I mean, the Abyss update came, what, like 3-4 weeks ago, and already Hello Games have pumped out a big fat update. It's absolutely mental. At this rate, the game will be Red Dead Redemption 3 by next year, and I am so excited to see the future of No Man's Sky. But guys, that is just about all I have to cover for this video, so I just want to take a quick moment to thank all of you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. If you guys did enjoy this video, then please do feel free to leave a like on it, and if you guys could also subscribe to MZK, then that'd be absolutely fantastic. And as always, I will see you guys on my next video. This is SkintBoot, signing out.